What is going on, Lucid fans? Welcome back to Financial Journey. So today I want to talk about this upcoming week. I'm going to be talking about some risks, some catalysts, everything that you need to know, go over some updated data points very relevant to a lot of investors, and tie it all together with some technical analysis. In addition to that, I will give you my price prediction where I see things going at the end of the week. But before I get into any of that, you guys know the deal. Smash a thumbs up, subscribe, do all that fun stuff. Greatly appreciate that. If you do like my channel and support the growth, take a look at my memberships, link in the description below, or just hit the join button at the bottom of the screen. With that said, let's get right to it. So I'm just going to start off by going over some factors that may cause a little bit more volatility within the market. First of which is this. So February the 14th is going to be a Fed meeting. They're going to be discussing possibly raising the rates prematurely. So we all know technically March the 16th, 2022 was going to be the next Fed meeting as far as making a decision on interest rates, but they did do this largely because of the CPI data that did come out last week. So this is something for us to look forward to. And as you can see on the intraday chart from Friday, the market did not act well to this. And in addition to that, Lucid was down a little bit more than expected. I'm going to be talking about something as well that did cause that. So over and above the Fed meeting, there's only one additional thing that a lot of people should be aware of, and that is the tensions between Russia and Ukraine and that whole situation. So depending on if that does develop or whatever happens from that, that may cause a lot of volatility as well in the market. So be aware of those. As far as those factors, there's no real reasons as far as upfront risk that is very apparent to us. So as far as some catalysts, we do know BlackRock added a nice little bump on Thursday when they did issue their 13F. So they increased it roughly about 67%. That is very positive. Couple things that we do have to look forward to is PIF and Vanguard, which is most likely going to be coming either Monday through Wednesday, depending on the time period they submit their 13F. But regardless, that is something to look forward to, and hopefully they follow suit to what BlackRock did and add to their position. More specifically, people will be watching PIF because the anticipation when it comes down to PIF is out of this world. It's the next level because they do have roughly about 1 billion and change as overall shares, whereas Vanguard and BlackRock, yes, they do have a significant amount, but by no means is it up to PIF level. So that's something for us again to keep in mind, and depending on how those 13Fs go, that will most likely dictate where Lucid actually goes as well, because like I said, BlackRock issuing their 13F did come out and it was fairly positive, and the price reacted fairly positive to that news as well. One negative I just want to bring up, and it kind of fell underneath the radar on Friday, largely because a lot of things were happening on Friday, but Franklin Resources, they did have a pretty significant holding in Lucid, but looking at this, they submitted it on February the 11th on Friday. Again, like I said, it fell underneath the radar. They actually did reduce their position by 42%. So that's something that definitely added into Lucid going down as much as it did. And like I said, this one did fall underneath the radar, largely because I believe it was submitted after hours. I did not see this when I was looking through them on the Friday. So this is something, like I said, most likely just came out afterwards. But still, I do see this as a little bit more of a negative, but that's something again for us to look forward to when it comes down to PIF or Vanguard. In addition to that, one more thing for us to look forward to this upcoming week is most likely going to be their Q4 earnings. They're going to be as far as issuing what the actual date is, because they did give us roughly about 2 weeks notice for their Q3 2021 earnings. So when it comes down to their Q4, it is fair to say that they're going to follow the same kind of etiquette and give us 2 weeks notice. So that'll most likely put us near the end of February, possibly early March, depending on when they do that. But I do anticipate them actually saying that this upcoming week. So that could be a very strong positive, and I do see a lot of momentum leading up to this date, especially considering a lot of people are going back and forth about their 2021 deliveries, production, and so forth. So it'd be good to actually have some concrete information about that. In addition to updated reservations, new guidance, there's going to be a lot of things that they can talk on, and there is a lot more articles coming out that are a little bit more bearish, unfortunately, such as even from Webull, it does say that you should wait until they're past the earnings to before buying, and they do anticipate it going down to roughly about $18 to $22. I'm going to touch on that as well when I do a little bit more technical analysis. But overall, like I said, this should be a fairly strong catalyst as far as buying opportunities once they do issue it, because there is that little bit more of a gray area. People are just waiting on the edge of their seat, and usually when there is silence, people tend to resort to negative thoughts. So that's one of those things as well. With that, I'm just going to touch on some technical analysis. So right now, the 50, 100, 200-day moving averages, Bollinger Bands, RSI, stochastic, and momentum. So despite everything, technically on Friday, the number of buyers did go down a bit. So you can see it did break the nice natural trend going up. Right now as well, stochastic is no defined trend. It is very merged, but yet it is at 15, which is extremely low. RSI is also at 33, which in my opinion is extremely low. Both RSI and stochastic are typically used by a lot of algorithms from hedge funds and institutions to buy. So those being where they are, I do strongly feel a lot more institutions are going to be getting in over the next couple of weeks. So that's again something for us to look forward to. And looking on the actual chart, we are at the lower percentile of the Bollinger Band. Still technically did get denied going past the 200-day moving average. And right now we did get to a very pivotal point. So you can see 25.84 is where we are currently. 25.82 is the S1, and we've been bouncing between the S1 and the pivot for quite some time. So if we do break below that, whether it be because of the Feds or the tensions with Russia, whatever it might be, if we do break below that, most likely anticipate that we'll probably get to around the $21 mark, 22, and that is exactly where the lower percentile of the Bollinger Band is. So that could be a very viable option if we do get there. So with all of that, I'm just going to give you my price prediction where I see us being at the end of the week. So given the circumstances and assuming PIF does maintain their position, Vanguard, obviously they are a very heavily ETF, so most likely they will be adding their position, largely because Lucid getting added to the NASDAQ 100. So most likely they will have been forced to buy more Lucid. So that is a positive catalyst, whether you take that or not. But a lot of eyes are going to be on PIF, regardless of whatever you think. I do anticipate them adding, and if they do physically add into Lucid, I see this easily going up massively. So I'm going to give you two options, one with PIF physically adding, one without. I do see us with PIF adding, us getting to around roughly about the $30 mark and staying close to that, right in line with the 200-day moving average. On the contrary though, if PIF does sell even one share, that will be conceived as a very bearish thing. And if they even sell one physical share, I do anticipate us dropping pretty significantly. Like I said, more so around here, around the $21 mark, especially considering there is a lot of negative things going on in the market, one of which is this. A lot of people are anticipating, even in this meeting, them bumping it not just a quarter, but 0.5%. So that would definitely add a lot of fear within the market. And like I said, a lot of people haven't really noticed that Franklin did physically sell. So that again is something that I do strongly feel hasn't really been built into the price. But I haven't really looked into exactly why Franklin did reduce it, roughly about 42%. But it is what it is, right? At this stage, there's nothing much that we can do. We are getting a lot of new institutions and new blood getting into Lucid all the time. So it might just be a rotational kind of thing. I'm not really sure. If you do know why Franklin may have reduced it around 42%, let me know in the comments below. Would definitely be very beneficial to know that. But like I said, based on what I've been able to look at, I haven't really seen anything. With all of that, let me know your thoughts on Lucid in the comments below. And also let me know in the comments below what you think about my options, my price targets. If you think PIF is going to be adding, selling, whatever it might be, that definitely will be very interesting to kind of see what the conception is on that. I have done a couple polls, and you guys know me with my polls. I like to do that and review that. Based on what I've seen, I think largely people do anticipate that PIF did maintain, if not add to their position. Very few of you did actually think that PIF sold, especially considering the long-term health of Lucid, and everyone knows as far as the growth, it is largely in line with PIF and what they want as far as the 2030 plans. So it does go hand in hand with their vision as well. With all that, let me know your thoughts. If you haven't already, smash the thumbs up, subscribe, do all that fun stuff. Greatly appreciate that. If you do like my channel and support the growth, take a look at my memberships, link in the description below, or just hit the join button at the bottom screen. Definitely helps my channel out, shows your support. With all that, I appreciate you guys watching, and let's all make a lot of money on Lucid.